Good.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning. So, we want to come on here today and do our little coffee chat with Heather and her co-host, the adorable one. They're both adorable. And we're going to talk about play. So, how play is so important at all ages, not just itty bitty guys, but all ages. It's something that we do automatically. Of course, as we get older, we kind of slow it down for whatever reason. We just don't think we have time to play or it's not as important. But it's super important. And one of the reasons why I believe this is because when you're playing, you're using your imagination. Imagination is so important because when you look around you, where did everything like evolve from? Where did the houses come from? Where did the car come from? Where did the hat come from? Somebody imagined it in their brain and then came up with it. And that is a sense of play. It really is. So, Heather, you want to?
Describes it like art. I mean, it's what's all around us, and it was created, it was designed, it was first an idea, and then it was made. So you almost described play like art.
Kind of is, though. It really
It
is.
is, and you had made the comment about how sometimes I think when we get older, we do less play, or it's maybe not just as abundant and all the time. And I think sometimes we get shy, like we feel like it's something childish or it's our inner thoughts and we should quiet them. But I mean, once we embrace it and we get into it, then we laugh and we have fun. And it's the number one thing that everyone says they want more of is more laughter, more happy times, more of those memories. And I think just embrace that.
And play doesn't have to look like one thing. I think a lot of people, or I mean, I've even thought too, like, oh, well, play is like, toddlers on the ground with their little cars or jumping in mud puddles. But the thing is, it's like all of it. It's all of it. It's, dancing in the kitchen, it's coloring, it's climbing a tree. It's even like as adults, it's digging in the sand, looking for rocks that you like. I love rocks, so I definitely do that. Camping on the beach, whatever. I'm exploring beautiful rocks. That is play. That's play.
Searching and discovering. Yeah, definitely.
Exploring our world. And it definitely gives us a sense of like learning about ourselves. So, especially when children are playing, they're figuring out their problem solving, they're figuring out what their bodies can handle, what feels safe, learning to listen to their intuition and oh, I'm going to climb that tree. Well, I don't feel very comfortable with that. Well, okay, then don't go as high. It's learning those boundaries within your body and learning about your body and what you can handle and what you can't is so important. And play helps you do that.
Yeah, I always say you can only climb as high as you can come down. If you can't come down, then you can't climb much higher. But it's learning. And I think that you're saying toddlers on the floor playing. And I definitely thought about this yesterday. The kids wanted to get out a toy that we hadn't played with in a long time. And it's so surprising. I mean, our toys they're always up for grabs, but we don't always have everything out. If that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, it'd be
we'll,
too much.
like, yeah, like we'll have either trains out or we'll put the trains up and we're getting out this. So yesterday we got out this really cool kit that they're kind of like Legos and you build up a robot and then you program it to run through this maze. And it's so funny because when Willoughby was a toddler and we played it for the first time, he didn't get much of it, but he was watching us the whole time. He wanted to put together every single thing from the book, the manual, and make every single creature. And so that's how we played with it the first time, was making every single creature in the demonstration book. And then, the next time we took it out, it was something else and it was something else. And so he built on those skills until yesterday when we got it out, he was like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this and this. And he was able to do all the parts, with a little bit of guidance on each to kind of dust out the cobwebs and remember how to do it. I even needed to do that, especially with writing the coding sentences. But I think that that's a really important part of play, is that we're not going to get it all the first time. The first time is almost like the like super warm up. And then the next time we're able to do a little more and a little more and a little more until we're able to interact with our environment easily.
Feel confidence, right? Like, so it's like the first time you bring something out, you know, like your example, you brought it out and it's like this new thing. You're like, how does this even work? What's going to happen? You know, and so you're kind of a little more like cautious about maneuvering it. And then it's like as you maneuver it and as you're understanding and as your brain's going, oh, aha, aha, then you build more confidence and you're like, oh, now I'm just gonna explore and I'm just gonna run with it, you know?
Definitely, definitely. Like I said, like the first time, we stuck to the book. We didn't stray from the book. We made what it said to make. And so by the end of yesterday, he was making his own creatures and he was ab-living and filling in the blanks on his own instead of relying just on what books said, steps said. Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. And see, that's such a great example of, you know, play in motion. And the thing is like I don't know why it's questioned so much. I think it's just because I've been doing it for so long that like how would you even learn in play? And I know what it's being asked. It's like subjects, but it's like it's everywhere. That's the thing. I'm sure when you guys were doing that project, you're problem solving, you're reading things, you're building confidence. You are, I mean, you know, so much things. And you, I like on this journey, I'm definitely doing it with my children, with a child-led learning. And I'm always in like, wow, like what they come up with and what they're observing on their own. And it's not necessarily on their own, but like living life and me being intentional and present. And I'm not saying it's easy, but it's definitely worth it. And slowing down and allowing them to take longer to do things, how much more they actually comprehend and absorb. It is amazing to me. It's amazing.
And the questions that they come up with that aren't scripted, that aren't part of a lesson plan, but they're observing and they have the question. Those are the moments that I get really excited about, because it's like, I would have never thought of it like that, but they're asking me to explain something. And it's almost as if they've already started processing it and figuring it out. Another example I have was we got this little spider for Halloween. One house wasn't giving out candy, they were giving out toys. And there was this spider, and this spider was then coated in this like pink glitter. And Willoughby picks it up, and he, in his mind, he says he's seeing 2 or 3 spiders, because he started seeing the layers.
Awesome. That's so nice.
He was taking it apart and seeing the shell, the skeleton, the enders, and I was just like, whoa, like my mind didn't even, so like we can play with the same exact thing and come up with different questions or different perspectives of how to view it. And it can be those little tiny nuances, but you've got to be there to pick up. If I hadn't have caught what he had said about the spider, I would have completely missed that. And it was a really big aha moment, of how things are layered. And how you can separate those. If you could separate out and have just the skin and just the skeleton and it was just the metal, but you have to be there in that exact moment for that spark to catch it and to be able to have that conversation.
Yeah, you definitely do. And I know like it might sound overwhelming to people, but the thing is really not. You're living your life. It's just that you have to slow down. So when I go shopping and I take the kids, it's not on a time frame. It is definitely not on a time frame because I feel like the store and our list and all that has so much opportunity and I want to slow down anyway. for them to be able to observe things, be like, oh, well, this costs this much. So I have two pieces of, two types of bread, and this says this much, and this says this much. But wait a second, cost difference from ounces, and figuring out what's the better deal there. And I allow them, especially Hunter, to like write the list and cross it off and find it in the store. And it all takes time, but it's actually, when you slow down, it's magical. It's like, it's just so awesome to connect with them on that level.
Yeah, there's something as simple as shopping it can be taken for granted. But I think that just like you're saying, there are so many, if we want to label them as subjects, there are subjects. You just listed off reading, math, you're doing comparison math, they're doing quite a bit, but we're just talking about buying bread.
And we're just living our life. And it's a skill also for life, like learning how to budget, learning how to find those deals so that your resources last longer. It's also a life skill. You know what I mean? You learn so much just by doing life.
Yeah. And we're also instilling that habit, simple things like going to the grocery store, and that it's not, I wouldn't say that going to the grocery store is always like this play fun, like going to the playground, but it can be enjoyable. And so we're making life skills, we're slowing down so that those life skills can be enjoyed by our kids and by us, because yeah, it gets monotonous to buy bread every week. But
Go ahead.
when we're doing it together, and we're doing it from a place of what can we learn, there is that spark of interest, that spark of joy, that spark of something. There's something here to discover, and let's take a minute to really notice that.
It's true. And then another thing, and I think the grocery store, because there's lines, is a great way to learn how to wait well. Humans in general are just like rush, 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 rush. And it reminds me of that song, I'm in a hurry. I don't know why. Yes. And the thing is like to just be in line and waiting well, and how that feels on your body. The fact that you're not feeling contracted and frustrated because it's not, you're not getting through it real quick. It's like learning that skill is it's so important for like so many aspects in your life to stay calm. Is it perfect? No, but it's something to practice and realize like it is okay. It's okay. Like life is not going to end because I didn't get through the line in 5 minutes. We can wait well and enjoy people and the day,
Yeah. In fact, the last time we went to Costco together, we took that time waiting in line to tell jokes. We shared the jokes that we had learned. There was a few that I had learned that day. The kids had theirs, and so we just stood in line telling each other jokes.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. So my oldest, when we were in Costco one time, that's why it came to me. She went through a period in her early teen life she wanted, like, it was her goal to embarrass me. And it hardly worked, but it was kind of fun. Like, it's not like she was like, it was play. And she was just being funny. So she sung very loudly the Spice Girls. And she's like, Mom, isn't this a cool new song? And I was like, I'm sorry to inform you, this has been around for a long time. She was like, man, I was hoping I was embarrass you. It's so funny. It's like, I don't care that you sing. You're not hurting anything.
Sing louder.
Right? Goodness. Enjoy life. Even like playing when we're going for our walks or just playing in the backyard. You can take a moment, like when they're like, oh my goodness, look at this beetle. Okay, now go further. So now they're interested in the beetle. Well, what type of beetle is it? What does the beetle eat? Do they hibernate? Do they not hibernate? You know what I mean? Do they eat meat? Do they eat vegetables? You know what I'm saying? Like to do those things, especially when they're interested, then they're observing the information and they're going to remember the term, the vocabulary, they're going to remember all about it so they can go tell somebody else because it's cool to them.
Yeah. I was thinking of this the other night, that it's like the difference between you watching a show and you binge watching. Like if you watch a show, you're probably interested, but when you binge watch and you're like, I can't stop watching this. I want another episode, That's what interest-led learning is. It's this like, oh my goodness, I can't handle it. I've got to get to the end of this season. And that might not even be enough. I want more. I want more. I want more. And it's all about this little beetle that you found on a walk, you know? That little thing can spark a binge watching series of interest led learning.
Definitely. I love that you put it that way.
You also brought up boundaries, and I think play is a really good time for boundaries. I can't remember. It was really, really early on when I had like just heard the term unschooling. So this isn't my analogy, but someone else's. And they said that if you ever watch children get together and set up for a game, maybe they're setting up for a game of basketball and they're making the rules. And if you ever watch them, they almost spend like a crazy amount of time making the rules than they do actually playing. And I think that that's really important. We all want to set our boundaries. We all want to be able to be heard of what is fair to us, what's going to keep the game interesting to us.
Mhm.
And what's going to keep us safe, what's going to what's going to be an end all, what's going to just ruin the game and end it for everyone if you throw the basketball over there into that neighbor's yard, or something like that. But I think it's really important to speak about boundaries when we speak about play, because I think that that's a large part of what we're doing with play, is noticing our own boundaries, but others as well.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you. So it's like, you want to have fun, but you also want to be able to accomplish the task on hand, just like you said with the basketball, whether they're playing basketball, whether they're jumping on a trampoline, whether they're playing their cars or drawing their pictures. It's like they have a certain way they want to do it, and they should be allowed to. I mean, of course, with safety, but they should be allowed to explore that. And it also helps us learn about ourselves, and about other people. It's like if you have these certain boundaries, then maybe they don't like to play that way. Okay, so when my friend comes over, or my sister, we're playing and she doesn't like to be roughhouse, and I do. Well, then we're not gonna do that. That doesn't mean that I don't still get the roughhouse sometimes. I'm not the
Or that
roughhouse with
it's
that
wrong.
person because they don't like it. Yeah.
Definitely. Or word. That's what a lot of, that there's a safety word that means, okay, that's the ultimate, like we've got to stop when I say this word. But yeah, you want to be respectful. And I think that goes a long way of learning respect. I think it's an easy way to demonstrate it.
Yeah, it is an easy way. And play definitely teaches all that. And it teaches so much. This will definitely not be the only episode that we touch on play, because it leaves so much of life taking place. I'm not sure if I had. Do you have anything else?
I think that wraps it up for today, but there's definitely, we could go on and on. We could play for a long time.
Yes, we could. We definitely could. I really enjoy our conversations.
Have a wonderful morning.
You too.